It's a goal! Can you believe it? It's extraordinary.
I think maybe the biggest news story, Mick, is around the Adelaide Crows and the fact that they have officially announced a wide-ranging, extensive external review, which is a bit of a change from what we've heard in the past. What do you make of that?
That's the key part, an external review. It's a brave decision because the people that have made that call are probably the guys who are going to get the bullet in the end. Here's the statement that the Crows have put out tonight. So I'd say, reading by that, everyone in the front office is under scrutiny tonight. The coach, the captain, CEO, footy boss, football director Mark Rasciuto himself said, hey, this could well point the finger at me as well. So I think it's what they needed to do. It worked for Richmond, it worked for Collingwood, and it's where you most often get the players to tell the truth about what's happening in their club.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. I think the big one there, environment. And we've spoken about this a number of times on this show. What sort of environment have they got there, given the amount of people that have left recently and we hear want to leave again? So clearly there's some big problems within the four walls of that footy club.
And the statement deals directly about the coach. So even though he's got 2 years to go, Das, maybe they're prepared to pay out the 2 years to fix the problem.
When you're talking to Adelaide Crows, it's always Mark Rasciuto that you turn to, and staggeringly for mine, even someone with his presence in Adelaide has come under a bit of scrutiny and a bit of feedback from the fan. Let's have a listen to Roo yesterday and then clarifying a little bit today.
Whatever decision has to be made from the top to the bottom will be made for the betterment of the football club, and the supporters, as Dom said, should back the people in, and if they don't, well then maybe they don't need to barrack for the footy club.
Didn't mean to offend the members of the football club in any way. I just hope that people know the person that I am. As I said, I love the footy club. I want the best for the football club. You know, if we're the problem and it shows out in the review, then we won't be there next year either.
Well, they were 5th at the bye, the Crows, and the Dogs were 15th. The Crows have beaten Gold Coast and St Kilda since, so they had to have this review.
Yeah, they did. You know, I always wonder, you're like, what's the club CEO doing when they're sitting there and all this is happening around them, and then they make an announcement at the end of the year made by the chairman to say, OK, we're going to review this whole organisation. If you're employing a CEO at a football club, isn't that the job of the CEO on an ongoing basis, to make sure that you're reviewing everything?
The decisions of the CEO though, are part of the review. So the camp and these sort of things, not saying that the CEO came up with the camp, but they actually need to find out whether the people like the CEO are part of the problem. So it's hard for the CEO.
Well, shouldn't the board
That's why Steve Rossage went at Fremantle.
Shouldn't the board know? Steve Rossage went at Fremantle though because he attached himself to Ross Lyon, didn't he?
Yeah,
which backed him.
Your point around collecting data ongoing makes a lot of sense, and actually surveying, finding out what's happening in your footy club before it gets to the point where you need to get an outside provider.
We'll make a review pretty easy if that works.
Yeah, cut it off
ongoing.
It staggers me that doesn't happen more often. Now, don't you want to have a bit of a chat about Tex Walker?
Yeah, look, Tex, it was only a couple of years ago, Das, that he went back-to-back, voted by his peers as the best captain in the competition. And look, he's had some really solid games this year. But have a look at this guy. Now, this is only a small snapshot of Tex and obviously young Norton. Norton's 19. You look at the way he stands up in there. Look at the strength. He doesn't want to get outbodied. He's playing on an All-Australian defender. And then Tex there in that marking contest, not overly strong. At least he launched himself at that one. This one here, half-hearted, didn't really want to go at it. What I'd say to Tex, and I like Tex, but he has to look at these young kids, the way they attack the footy, their second and third efforts, they stay in the contest. Because when he's up and about, this is the captain of your footy club, when he's up and about, Adelaide are a very different team. He really, this year, has reflected how the Adelaide Crows have gone, I think. So Tex has to have a good look at himself and has to have a really big pre-season for me.
Do you think he'll be captain next year?
That's a good question, and that's one of the things that will come up in the review. So there'll be better people to make that decision than me. But from the outsider looking in,
he doesn't look like a leader from the outside.
He doesn't. No, he doesn't. And at times this year, his confidence has looked shot. We've all had times like that in our footy careers, and I reckon he's had one of those this year. So for me, I mean, they'll make that decision. They'll make the right one.